Floyd County, Indiana. Riding for Jackson Off-Road, Yamaha and Honda. He is a two-time Pinewood Derby champion. Part-time racer and full-time fun haver. Number 25. Jordan Jackson.
Today on Jackson Off-Road, we're diving into the machine that taught more kids to ride than dads came home with the milk. The mighty Honda 250EX. I know you've got some immediate questions, like, is it fast? Absolutely not. Is it fun? Absolutely yes. And the final and probably the most important question, will it survive being sent off a sketchy backyard jump? And oh baby, maybe. Now to understand this beast, we've got to talk about its origin. So let's rewind back to 2001. Limp Bizkit is still on the radio, cargo shorts are in their peak, and Honda releases the new TRX250EX. A sporty ATV for people who want all the fun without the I might die today feeling of the Honda 450R. This quad was built to be the perfect starter sport ATV. It's simple, reliable, and tough enough to handle anything a new rider could throw at it. All right, it's pretty basic, but let's go through the tech breakdown. She's a simple machine, but beautifully simple. What's under the plastic, you might ask? Well, a wonderful 229cc air-cooled 4-stroke. Not the fastest thing in the dirt, but just like your grandpa's Civic, it's gonna run forever. As you can see here, there's your engine specs. Let's take a second and admire these. What a machine. Top speed, about 50 miles an hour if you're going downhill with a tailwind and an answered prayer. I've seen mine hit 50, but like I said, downhill. Although the 250EX isn't still around today, its replacement is the TRX250EX. In 2006, Honda said, let's make something even better. And boom, the 250EX got a redesign. New bodywork, better suspension, and new learner clutch, just to make it feel a little sportier. You saw the old one. Here's the new one. It's the machine you'll still see in Honda dealerships today. In its final form, the TRX250EX is the same general idea, with slightly spicier graphics, because graphics add horsepower, and everybody knows that's a fact. Okay, now let's talk about some Honda reliability. That's why everybody loves it. You can't kill the things. They never die. Here's the thing, the 250EX doesn't try to be a race quad, and that's really what makes it so great. It's bulletproof, perfect size for teens all the way through adulthood. It's great for wheelies. You can't hardly overpower the thing. like the graphic said, 17 horsepower. I mean, come on. It's enough to have fun, but not enough to really kill yourself. It's easy to modify, and it doesn't really need much. You shouldn't expect 400 or 450 performance out of this thing, but you definitely can expect 400 or 450 fun out of this thing. And finally, they're impossible to kill. My wife has a 2004, the original 250EX model. It's on the original motor, original clutch, original everything. The only thing that I have swapped is suspension for comfort and brakes. Everything else, performance-wise, is absolutely stock, and I can go out on it and have a blast. And I think anyone could go out on a 250EX or a 250X and have just as much fun as they do on their full-size race machines. This is the quad that gets passed down through families like heirlooms. Grandpa rides it, kids ride it, your cousin that says he's a professional rides it, and inevitably crashes it. And it still keeps going. It will not die. Now let's talk about some modifications, if you feel like you just need some. The mod scene is crazy for these things. You can find just about anything, all the way down to aftermarket suspension. Like I said, my wife's has the Diamond J Plus suspension and widening kit. It works phenomenal on that machine. Nerf bars, it's a necessity for any sport quad in my opinion. It's one of the first mods I always do. Gotta save the ankles and the knees. They make a couple different exhausts. It's not quite as many options as on your 400 or your 450 machines. Even something just as simple as opening up the airbox, doing an aftermarket lid like from Carolina Quad Concepts. It's also on my wife's 250. Even just rejetting the carburetor, making it a little bit spicier. Like most machines, they come a little lean from the factory, juice them up a little bit. Throw some aftermarket tires on them, really get that power, what little power there is, to the ground better. Handle those turns a lot better than those big balloon tires they came factory with. And finally, handlebars. Throw a set of bars on them, get your knees away from them. It is a beginner machine. For an adult stock form, it can be a little cramped. It can be ridden, but it can be a little tight. Now finally, let's talk about my impressions of it as I've had it for a year. I've ridden it several times. And look, if you line it up against a 450, the 250EX is going to get smoked harder than a brisket. But when you're out on the trails, they're just as much fun. It's playful, predictable, surprisingly floaty off small jumps. Small jumps. Don't be sitting this thing against 40-foot tabletops. It's not going to end well. Take your YFZ out for that. Basically, it's the golden retriever of sport quads. Now let's talk about why this thing still matters in 2025. Even though the 250EX is older than basically half of the people on TikTok, riders still love it. Why? Because it's the definition of a gateway quad. It's what started half of us into this. If you started later in life, you weren't getting a 90, you weren't getting a 50. You saw a 250 cheap on Marketplace once and said, you know what? I'm going to try that out. And you fell in love, just like half of us did. A machine that brings new people into the sport without scaring them away or sending them into orbit. So that's the Honda 250EX, the tough, lovable starter sport quad that refuses to die. If you've ever owned one or crashed one, drop it in the comments. Love to hear the stories. And if you love these deep dives, hit subscribe so we can keep on growing Jackson Off-Road. In conclusion, the 250EX, it's not the fastest, but it might be one of the most important sport ATVs ever made. This has been Jordan with Jackson Off-Road. I'll see you on the next ride. Peace.